from NBC News. This is Today with Kathy Lee Gifford and Hoda Kotb.
It's not unusual to forget where we parked the car, where we left our house keys, but when does memory loss become serious?
Sally Lee is the editor-in-chief of Ladies' Home Journal, and she is here along with memory disorder expert and neurologist Dr. Norman Relkin from the New York Presbyterian Weill Cornell Medical Center.
And we should mention Dr. Relkin is also the lead investigator in a national clinical trial to treat Alzheimer's. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We were just talking about there's a certain time in your life where you start forgetting things, and it sometimes leads you to worry. When is that window? When does it begin?
It can begin at any point in life, to be truthful, but from the standpoint of how the brain develops, most commonly after age 50 or 60. Mm-hmm. And the older you get, unfortunately, the greater risk becomes.
And what is the clinical reason for that, in layman's terms, if you could?
Well, the brain's getting older.
Yeah.
And memory is a very delicate process, and there's a lot of things that can go wrong to derail it.
Right.
And there's a lot of lifestyle choices, very simple lifestyle choices that we make that can get in the way of our memory. If we're stressed out, that makes us...
and who isn't?
And who isn't. Multitasking is also really bad for memory. I know, that's true.
Yeah.
Lack of sleep is not great.
Hi, all three.
Welcome to my world.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's often a busy lifestyle, not a serious illness, that explains this memory loss.
And you say not paying attention is another one, too, just not focusing in on what's going on.
Not focusing, you know, sometimes your body is there, but your brain isn't. You know, we all go through that. It's just not being in the moment, because if you're not in the moment, then you can't imprint those memories.
Should you worry if you can't find your keys, and that happens to a lot of us, and I think some people who have parents who have serious illnesses, dementia or Alzheimer's, start getting panicky in their 40s, 50s, 60s, thinking, oh my gosh, it's happening with me.
And most of the time, it turns out not to be Alzheimer's disease as the cause of that kind of a problem. It is the things that Sally mentioned, and I'd add to that depression, substance abuse, in some cases excessive alcohol, or it can be a past history of head trauma. Whatever it is, though, worrying actually makes it worse. The time to worry is when the forgetting goes beyond the usual, the forgetting the keys. Well, again, I think getting lost, not being able to handle your day-to-day tasks, that level of forgetfulness, that requires some attention.
So if you walk into a room and can't remember why you we're going to the room. I couldn't remember what I was going to say just then. So is it just a combination of things when all of those things start happening at once?
Well, that's just distraction. When you walk into a room and you can't remember, it's because you haven't laid down that first memory. I often go into a room to pick up my cup of coffee, my kid asks me something,
you get
distracted, and that's a short-term memory. We don't keep things in short-term memory.
Well, your brain's a muscle, and how can you work it to make sure that it stays intact?
Well,
to talk
that's
about
the wonderful
crossword puzzles and things like that.
To keep you can really exercise your brain, not just through crossword puzzles, but things that really tax your brain, that really make you work hard. So, for example, I learned a musical instrument after I turned 40. It's hard. It's not easy. Yeah.
Or a language.
Or a language. Exactly. That's exactly right. Exercise is also good for your brain. Physical exercise, a heart-healthy diet, you know, high in antioxidants and omega-3s, and just cut back on the stress. You know, take up some meditation, go for a walk. You know, live in the moment.
Is there a test you can go to get that shows you have you have a gene, some sort of gene that makes you prone to Alzheimer's?
Well, it's a controversial topic, Kathy Lee. The genetic testing isn't ready for prime time yet. There are a lot of new discoveries in that area, and I think in a few years we will be able to predict who's going to get the disease. But until we have something that can actually cure it, we're not recommending people have the genetic test.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to know. No. But good for you with this clinical test. Please come back when you're finished and give us the results.
Thank you.
Thank you both.
Thanks both.
Thank you.